This video is made possible by our generous supporters on Patreon. Check out patreon.com/NWR for all the details.
Hey, this is Neal from Nintendo World Report TV, and exciting news! Kirby and the Forgotten Land is coming out on March 25th. We just got the news today alongside a new trailer, and we're going to talk about the trailer in as much detail as we can muster right now. Joining me is John Raridan.
Hello everybody, I am excited to be interested in a Kirby game.
Yeah, it's been 4 years since Kirby Star Allies came out. There's been some spin-offs in between, but this is a big new Kirby, and it's going in a 3D direction for the first time. So without further ado, let's kind of go over what was both said directly and also kind of hinted at in some of the screenshots and video and press release materials that came out alongside the release date confirmation. So the story of Kirby and the Forgotten Land is, well, Kirby goes to a forgotten land. He goes to this unknown land and finds out that a bunch of Waddle Dees are being kidnapped by the Beast Pack, which appears to be some kind of conglomerate of evil ne'er-do-wells. Along the way, Kirby meets Elfilin. E-L-F-I-L-I-N.
Blue flying fox thing?
Yes, that's the thing. Seems to be part of this forgotten land, this unknown world. And the goal of the game, it seems to be the driving force, is that you're going through these different stages in various worlds where you are trying to rescue Waddle Dees. And the more Waddle Dees that you rescue, it'll unlock stuff in the hub world, which is Waddle Dee Town. And then presumably you fight the Beast Pack, save the day, and then you can go back and save all the Waddle Dees that you didn't along the way.
Because we all know you rushed through the first time.
No, I mean, we got deadlines to meet. We want to make sure we get it before all the hot Kirby spoilers come out.
Right.
So one of the big news, I guess the raw news from this is confirmed to be co-op. Second player plays as Banana Waddle Dee. So you're only limited to spear attacks, which is a little disappointing because it does make it so the secondary player is definitely, a little bit little brother mode. As opposed to, Star Allies had 4-player where not everybody could be Kirby, but you could be, any power up. But this one, you'll just be Banana Waddle Dee. There are 2 new abilities, 2 new copy abilities that were shown off here. There's Ranger, where Kirby has like a blunderbuss, and it's a long range, like borderline sniper attack, I think.
Listen, he's surviving in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. He has to adapt to survive.
There's also the drill, which, there's probably more concerns about that as well, but that's just where Kirby just drives his face into the dirt underground, and then can kind of crawl underneath there and then pop up and hit an enemy. One of the things shown in the trailer is, digging a circle around an enemy, and then like the whole area in between just blows up.
Mm-hmm.
Drill looks like it could be very fun. Kirby's also being very safe. He's wearing some sort of face mask while using the drill. Safety first is always Kirby's motto. He doesn't want to get hurt when he's using copy abilities.
Correct. I was gonna say, it does look like the spear Waddle Dee can like fly with it. Assuming that was co-op footage of him helicoptering around with it, which was cool.
Yeah, because he's got at least that's kind of matched. It's not like he just has he's got a double jump while Kirby can just hover everywhere.
Yeah.
We got to look at the world map, which clearly shows that there's an area called the Natural Plains. That seems like it's World 1, and the first level is called Downtown Grassland, which that seems to be where some, if not most, of what we've seen is pulled from. It's basically the area with overgrown skyscrapers is that first level. We've definitely seen a lot with that stage. But I did notice something, actually quite literally right before we started recording this, that Nintendo's the press release assets are labeled with world and level names. So the darkened forest area is apparently World 1-2. There's like a dilapidated mall that looks like it's World 1-3. This is also kind of showcased in the trailer in the little bit of when they show the world map, it kind of goes into the second world, which is a water world. The first level in that, 2-1, is definitely a water level. And some other ones, there's the amusement park that is shown off both in the trailer and the screenshots. That is World 3-4. World 4-4 is the Gates of Valhalla looking icy, snowy thing. When like Kirby starts to get real.
Yeah. It is. That's Nintendo has to do that now with every 3. That's the Ruined Kingdom equivalent for this game. There has to be like one stage where you just kind of pause and go, wait, what game is this?
But then you have like the next one, which is World 5-3, which World 5 could be the last world. Don't really know exactly what the level count would be, obviously. But I mean, maybe there's a bonus world after that. Maybe there's a World 6. I think most Kirby games have actually had, I want to say, around 6 worlds. So, you know, at least the end of the game, that's the Desert Ruins, which like that kind of majestic shot is near the end of the trailer and shows like, it looks like there's, you know, an abandoned building of some sort. But then there's way more like desert, you know, sand everywhere. You don't want sand everywhere. But I guess like it's later than the overgrown stuff. Different stage of post-apocalyptic worlds.
Yes. It would make sense if there is a World 6 that they might hold it back and not have it in the trailer. You wouldn't want to show the whole game just yet.
Don't reveal everything yet. But that, like those screens, what we saw in the trailer, kind of show all of what we can kind of confirm is this areas that you'll go to. There's a lot of that, like the forest overgrowing the city. You know, water levels, the snowy, icy area, wooded forest, the amusement park, the desert. Looks like we're going to have some level of variety in that regard.
Yeah, I'm more impressed visually with variety from this trailer than from the first one, because they really, as far as I remember, kind of just showed the overgrown city in that initial trailer,
with maybe just a light tease, but not much more.
Yeah.
So one thing that I noticed from the little bit of footage that they showed of the world map is that you can see what's clearly like that downtown grassland level, and other ones kind of in the center of that first world that were shown on the world map, and those all have red dots, and those seem like those are going to be your critical path, your main levels. Off to the left and right of the world map, and you can kind of see it extend even into that second water world. There are these little X's, or little stars, that are there that kind of look like something from some of the story footage, where it looks like these star-like portal things. It's what sent Kirby to this forgotten land, this unknown world. So, alongside the release date announcement for this game, Nintendo also talked about how it's the 30th anniversary of Kirby. So I posit that potentially these star portal sublevels are going to have more explicit references to past Kirby games for the 30th anniversary, or have some kind of novelty there, and it's not just going to be more of the same of what you've seen in the rest of the game.
That'd be cool. Maybe World 6 is just Yarn World. And
that'd be cool.
And all the references are to Epic Yarn.
It would be a cool way to kind of, celebrate the franchise. And maybe this is something that Nintendo will hopefully keep under wraps more. I mean, we are, of course, due for the trailer about 2 weeks before the game comes out. That tells us every single mode. That's kind of what Nintendo's been doing for the past year or two. But yeah, no, that seems really cool. We've also seen some bosses. It looks like they're from at least 2 of them are from that first world. There's Tropic Woods, which is the wispy woods enemy that you see that looks, palm tree and stuff. I do like that there is like kind of the introductory title card for Tropic Woods, calls it an unfriendly fronds, because that's the name of the leaves on the palm tree. The other one, which I don't think is shown in the trailer at all, is the Strong Arm Beast Gorimondo. That's the big ass gorilla that is in.
I thought, does he not show up in the trailer? I could have swore I saw him.
Maybe he's in the first one.
Yeah. Oh, maybe you see a weird like thing licking its lips, but that's not him.
The money shot is, of course, Meta Knight. That could be from later in the game, but good to see confirmation that good old MK is showing up in this Kirby game. It's always nice to see Meta Knight doing stuff.
It looks like they're fighting in like a coliseum in that shot. I wonder, that almost looks like it could be from like the desert world or something.
So just kind of looking to see what else there is to talk about. I don't know. There's like ravens or something putting Waddle Dees in the cages. It's crazy.
Yeah, and he's getting chased by like a cute little fox thing at the beginning. Which I don't know when all the cute animals turned against Kirby. I thought
it's because he's an invader to their land.
Yeah, but last time they were all like his mounts. Maybe they don't like the slavery or
that.
Yeah.
Rick the hamster's the actual.
He's the final boss. You just come in and he's like sitting on a throne.
Kind the owl is dead.
But you wouldn't know that, would you?
It's kind the fish, Coo the owl. You weren't going to correct me, but everybody else was
as if I know the names of the. Yeah, I called Bowser Jr. Baby Bowser in a Bowser's Fury video, so like I know the names of characters from games.
So the one part that we haven't talked about as much, kind of mentioned at the top, is Waddle Dee Town, which is this evolving hub world that I would assume you go to pretty early on. But the key mechanic of the game is that you're saving Waddle Dees in these levels, and it looks like there are 46 hidden in the natural plane stage. Apparently,
that's a lot,
or at least like that. Like it does say like a 0 out of 46 on the map screen, and it seems like they're going to be the kind of things that you're not going to find all of them probably in a first playthrough unless you're exhaustive. There's probably a critical path where you get enough to unlock the next level. But if you do save a lot of Waddle Dees, then you'll unlock different things in Waddle Dee Town. What you can see from some of what we've seen is that there's like a restaurant, maybe like a movie studio, and there's something with it looks like the sword hat and a scroll, which could be another mini game.
In the background there's what appears to be a coliseum. I'll bet that's where you fight Meta Knight.
That could be. Maybe or Meta Knight comes to Waddle Dee Town.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what that sword hat with the scroll is. I don't know, Dream Battles or something.
That's where you sign up. Yeah, those are the lists. Yeah.
But yeah, it does seem like those are going to mostly unlock mini games. There was one shown off, a cafe mini game where you're, prepping food for people. There's also a fishing mini game was shown. I don't know if that's tied to any of the icons that we can see in this footage in these images, but there's going to be mini games in a Kirby game. Who knew?
Yeah, that's weird. Bold new move for Kirby.
And some final stuff with that is that there's some kind of gotcha statues that you can collect, which that's kind of another Kirby trope of collecting items that maybe reference the series. I mean, I think Kirby Triple Deluxe was doing, that might have been the 25th anniversary or something like that, but I know that had a lot of kind of nostalgic throwback stuff to old Kirby games. But
I will note that during that gotcha segment in the trailer is when the Nintendo Switch Online membership disclaimer pops up. So I assume that has some sort of online component
NFTs.
To it. There you go. Yeah. Each one is an NFT.
I hope not. But in addition to saving Waddle Dees, you can also get some like star coins throughout levels, and it looks like it's going to be some kind of currency to probably buy something in Waddle Dee Town, maybe unlock other things. It'd be cool if there was some kind of like have enough coins for characters and levels for secrets or something like that. But tied to that online stuff, there is this character that is, you see him talk in the trailer, in writing, because there's no voice acting in Kirby games.
Wasn't there voice acting in Epic Yarn?
Yeah, it was just the narrator. Does that even count?
I feel like that counts. Didn't he talk for Prince? What's his name?
He did. Yeah, you know what? Okay, Kirby's Epic Yarn.
It's fantastic like you've never even played Kirby's Epic Yarn.
But why is Waddle Dee? It's just a Waddle Dee with a graduation cap and tiny glasses. He connects online for you because he's so wise. He can share how many Waddle Dees you've saved with the rest of the world. And apparently there's going to be a worldwide tally of how many Waddle Dees are saved by the people who played this game. Nintendo could start holding games hostage to be like, you need to save 5,000 Waddle Dees by tomorrow or else.
That's how they're gonna
Breath of the Wild 2.
I was gonna say that'll be their excuse for delaying Breath of the Wild 2. It's like, we were gonna release it in November, but you guys didn't save enough Waddle Dees. I'm sorry, it can't come out.
And then it'll also show off what the most popular copy ability at the moment is, which I mean, maybe that could be cool. I'm not sold on that, but it does
Sure.
seem like typical like online interactions that could be neat, but might not be everlasting. But yeah, we'll see what's in the final game.
Someone told them they had to implement an online element, and so they did.
Yeah. So that's about it from my analysis. Now, John, you've got more of a technical bent to some of this.
Yeah.
What did you see from looking at the trailer?
Just a few quick notes, and obviously this is a trailer for a game that's not out for a couple more months, and who knows what build this footage was recorded from, so take everything I say with a crazy large grain of salt. But I guess the good news, the whole game has a really nice depth of field effect on it, and not like a really bad depth of field effect like Link's Awakening on Switch had. It actually like properly blurs stuff, not just based on where on the screen it is, but how far away from the camera or how near the camera it is, which is always cool to see, and it looks really nice. The game itself looks to run at, I tested a few different shots, and most of them came in at 1080p, which is the maximum resolution the Switch can output in docked mode. Which also pretty good odds then if you're 1080p docked, good chance you're 720p handheld, which would be awesome. It does look like it might be a variable resolution. There were a couple shots I tested that came in at 972p, so it might adjust the resolution based on load. And then the only other technical stuff I noticed was in terms of frame rate. Game looks mostly good. There were a few times in the trailer where the frame rate dropped pretty severely, which is always something I find fascinating to include in a trailer, because you had to go out of your way to include those frame drops. You could have just edited around them. And then also noticed that characters in the way back of scenes will update at like 15 frames per second. They update at half frame rate, which is pretty normal. Nintendo did the same thing for Super Mario Odyssey. And there's honestly a lot of little elements of this engine that remind me of Odyssey. I don't know that it's the same engine or anything like that, but I do wonder if it has some technical lineage there, because there's a lot about this game that under the hood just reminds me of that. But no, overall, it looks good. I do wish they're doing the classic Nintendo thing of avoiding anti-aliasing at all costs, which means that all of the pixels are very raw, and so you can see like stair stepping between each pixel, which like on the bright side it's sharp. It's like seems to be 1080p most of the time, so if you're gonna have an unaliased or a non-anti-aliased image, that's good. But a simple passive anti-aliasing on a high resolution image is not expensive, and I'm not sure why Nintendo hates it so much. Yeah, like just push the button, turn it on. But overall, it looks okay. Looks good.
I do feel like this could be a game, going back to what you were saying about the Super Mario Odyssey engine, that when we see the end credits, we're probably going to see like 1UP Studio helped out with development or something like that. Because I don't know offhand what like the development engine history is, but I think like HAL Labs, who's developing this, they probably had some kind of, modified Kirby engine that they've been using for a while, especially because there definitely seems to be, a lot of similarities in kind of like look and structure of, your Triple Deluxe Planet Robobo and Kirby Star Allies.
Yeah, this would be, this is like the jump from those to 3D though would be a lot. So yeah, it would make sense if they brought in some help from people who were already doing that and it made a similar game. But
maybe even NST could be helping.
It's probably Monolith. Let's be real. It's Monolith. It's always Monolith.
It's either Monolith or 1UP Studio, because you have Monolith as like the Zelda and open world assistant team. Yeah, it's definitely helping with Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Monolith is looking at Arceus and crying right now. Is what Monolith is busy doing.
They're running out of time, man.
Yeah, that's what happens when you make a game in less than 2 years. It'll have that effect.
But 1UP Studio, who used to be Brownie Brown, they've been helping out with, I think, like pretty much every Mario game, every 3D Mario game since 3D Land, something like that. But wouldn't be shocked to see if they were helping out make Forgotten Land.
I will say it's hard to tell from compressed like YouTube video footage, but Mario Odyssey did this weird thing where in order to get it up to a high resolution, they used like a weird form of image reconstruction where when a character was moving, it only rendered like half the pixels at a time. And so you would get like when things were moving, they looked lower resolution. And I haven't seen any of that on this, which is kind of what makes me question it being too directly that line of tech. But maybe they just got better at it. I do think it looks cleaner from an image perspective than Mario Odyssey did, which is good.
Cool. Well, that's about it from what we've seen from, I don't know, what is it, like a total of 3 minutes of footage
between the
Kirby
two?
Forgotten Land?
Yeah.
But it's going to be out in 2.5 months. They missed my birthday by a week. It could have been released on my birthday, but alas, I'll have to wait a week.
Maybe the review code will come in on your birthday.
That's the dream, man. That's the dream. All right. Thank you for watching Nintendo World Report TV. We'll be doing more coverage as we find out more about Kirby and the Forgotten Land. It's definitely one that I'm looking forward to. So expect to see us do some more videos all about Kirby. If you want to know what kind of Kirby games to play before you play Kirby and the Forgotten Land, I'll be hustling to finish up a video idea that I had about 6 games that you could play before Forgotten Land comes out. Because time's a ticking. It's gonna be out very soon.
Yep. All right. Bye, everybody. This video was made possible by our generous supporters on Patreon. Did you know that Nintendo World Report is funded directly by fans like you? When you support Nintendo World Report on Patreon, you get immediate access to multiple exclusive podcasts every month, exclusive Discord channels, an early look at select content, and more. All for as little as $1 a month. Check out patreon.com/NWR for all the details.